It's Friday, July 14th, 2017. I'm your host, Sarah Mantle. We have a great show in store for you today. First up, the Maritime Museum in Hyannis is bringing back its Pirate Ball. We're going to learn more during our arts and culture segment. Actually, that is going to be next week's arts and culture segment. This week, I was wrong. We are actually taking a trip to the Osterville Historical Museum. The Pirate Ball arts and culture segment's happening next Friday. Then we're going to chat with staff at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center about how they're making sure that kids don't go hungry over the summer. Youth Center Manager Mark Bordley is going to tell us all about that program. And finally, we will get a chance to talk to shellfish technician Liz Lewis about some upcoming clamming classes for adults and kids. All of that on this episode of Barnstable Today. But first, let's go ahead and get a look at today's top headlines. Yarmouth town officials will join the committee to assess homelessness next week. The committee invited Administrator Daniel Napick to discuss the homeless population in Yarmouth. The committee to assess homelessness meets next Monday at 6 in the Selectmen's Conference Room. The school committee will discuss legal representation for the district during its next meeting. Barnstable Public Schools currently has a contract with a firm to handle any legal matters. The school committee will discuss whether or not to continue outsourcing legal services or whether to hire an attorney full-time to represent the district. The school committee meets next Tuesday, July 18th at 7 in the Town Hall hearing room. Well, a new episode of WCVB's travel show Chronicle will highlight the town of Barnstable. Chronicle staff were in Hyannis earlier this week filming. The crew stopped at the Maritime Museum in Hyannis and learned more about the boat building classes offered in partnership with the town's recreation division. The class partners volunteer boat builders with children hoping to learn the craft. No word yet on when that episode will air, but we love here at Channel 18 seeing some great programs like this one getting some much deserved recognition. The Planning and Development Department is working to update the town's open space and recreation plan. The plan is used to identify challenges, potential areas of growth, and priorities for open space. Once approved by the Massachusetts Division of Conservation Services, the town will be able to qualify for state grants related to land acquisition. Residents can be part of the update process by taking a quick survey. You can find the survey by visiting the Town of Barnstable's website and clicking through to the Planning and Development Department. Up next is our weekly arts and culture segment, where we will visit the Osterville Historical Museum. So Jennifer, thank you for having me here to the Osterville Historical Museum. I'm so excited. I hate to say this, but this is actually the first time I've completely toured this facility here, and I am so impressed. There are so many things that we can learn about and see and really dive in to the history of Osterville. So tell me a little bit about what you can see here, from the boatyard to the paintings inside.
Right. I think that's the great thing, that there's really something for everyone here. We have the largest collection of wooden boats in Massachusetts. We're proud to be the home of the Crosby boats. We have such a great exhibit and beautiful boats covering the legacy of the Crosby boat building traditions. And so that's part of our story. We also have our Captain Jonathan Parker Coastal Schooner Captain House right behind us. Gardens are maintained by the Osterville Garden Club. And this year, for our rotating exhibits in the Parker House, we have the lost murals from Vernon Coleman. 3 beautiful murals that were discovered last year behind a false wall at the Katie's restaurant in Hyannis. And of course, Vernon Coleman was a WPA artist. He was a teacher here at the Osterville Bay School and inspired so many people, whether it be through the Bay School as an art teacher, the murals that you'll see everywhere from Town Hall to St. John Paul High School. Just a great legacy, and capturing these murals and restoring them and saving them. They present beautiful snapshots of the town of Barnstable and the Cape Cod and the islands.
They really are, and you worked hard to bring these murals here. I know you already had one in the boat shop.
Yes.
And that's gorgeous. So you wanted to add to that. You approached the Katie's owners.
I did. So this is going back to last year, when there was a whole controversy about these beautiful murals being found behind the false wall in the restaurant. It was originally the Mayflower restaurant. And I did a little poking around and found the original murals one Saturday morning. and had the great fortune of working with the property owner who lives in Cotuit, and he very generously donated these murals to the museum. So now they are in, the 3 murals that we have are in the permanent collection of the museum. And we were also very fortunate to receive a grant to fund the restoration and conservation of these murals, as well as the installation of the exhibit here in the Parker House. And so these murals are breathtaking. I've seen them through the process of literally pieces of the wall being cut out to what they look like today. And thanks to Fraser Construction, who worked with us, they're master carpenters, creating the frames for these murals, and working with us along the process. Cape Cod Picture Framing and Restoration did an unbelievable job, and the murals are breathtaking. So
they are so beautiful, and I love the mural too that's in the boathouse. Talk to me a little bit about how, because you did say you have the largest collection of wooden boats in Massachusetts, which is quite a feat.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about how the boathouse came to be on this property.
So the boat shops are a series of sort of meandering boat shops that have grown through the years. Our latest addition is the Alan Van Winkle shed that we have. In the back of the boat houses, we have the Canib shed, which features a tribute to junior sailing. We feature everything from several cat boats to our own Wiano Senior celebrating over 100 years. We have Beetle Cats, Wiano Juniors, Crosby Curlews, various Crosby skiffs and wherries throughout the collection. And we also have a boat, the Gypsy, that is on the National Register. Beautiful turn-of-the-century design.
Yeah, built in 1901, I think.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful boats, and it's so cool that the history here in Osterville with the Crosby Yacht Yard,
oh my gosh,
it's featured here.
Absolutely.
And we were talking too, tell me a little bit about the Camet House, because that's also on the property and something really interesting for people to check out.
Yes, the Camet House is actually the oldest house in Osterville, and I tell people that it came here to the museum to its forever home about 35 years ago. It originally was located on Main Street across from the Point Oil building. They're actually, the 2 houses are mirror images of themselves, and they almost formed the gateway into the village of Osterville at the time. The kitchen L that's on the back of the Camet House is in fact older than the main portion of the house. In that time period, it was easier to actually detach a part of a building and transport it rather than waste the raw materials of lumber and nails and such to start from scratch. The Camet House has a beehive oven, actually has a root cellar, and you can go into the basement of the Camet House to see those 1700s construction techniques. I often refer to it as my Dr. Seuss basement a bit, because you'll see really the tree trunks that are curved and twisty that are actually part of the foundation and part of what's the Camet House was built upon.
So neat. I love history, and I love local history. You were telling me too, one of the best days to come to the museum, which we should mention, the museum is free to attend. You do accept donations if anyone would like to donate, but it is free to come and check out the museum. And you said one of the best days to come during the summer is on the Farmers Market Day.
I was going to say Farmers Market Fridays are terrific because all the boat shops are open, the Parker House is open, the murals are available, as well as the Camet House. And we have over 20 vendors who are here at the museum, local farmers, small batch artisanal vendors, really unique items that you can't find anywhere else. And so it's a lovely time to support all of our local vendors and support that buy fresh, buy local Cape Cod tradition of really incorporating healthy local produce into your plan of life.
And I should ask you really quick, I know we don't have too much time left, but you are having an event that's going to feature some local artists here on the Cape coming up.
Yes, we have an event July 26th. It's called Art at the Museum, and it features 20 renowned Cape Cod fine artists. Joe McGurl, William Davis, Liz Mumford, Carol Wyckoff. I could go on and
Some
on.
really well-known artists here on the Cape. Well, thank you for telling us everything we need to know about visiting the Osterville Historical Museum. I am going to now recommend everybody that comes to visit me to come check it out, because it is an amazing facility. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for visiting. That's great.
Our guest today is Jennifer Williams. She is the Executive Director here at the Osterville Historical Museum. Now we'll chat with HYCC Youth Center Manager Mark Bordley. He's going to tell us all about a program that makes sure local kids have a healthy lunch. So Mark, very excited to talk to you about the Food for Kids program right now that's happening at the HYCC. This is an exciting program. I know you worked very hard to help bring that program to the HYCC. Tell me, what is Food for Kids?
All right, so during the school year, you know, certain kids get lunch for free at school. Once school closes, the kind of idea behind this whole thing was, well, what are we going to do with some of the kids that we see that we know need this lunch? So a couple people were working on it, and then we entered into a partnership with a local church that gets their funding through the state, a couple programs through the state, and they actually make lunches and bring them over to the HYCC every Monday through Friday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. They also bring us snacks for later in the day. So that was kind of the idea, and that's kind of where we're at now.
And are kids taking advantage of the program? How many kids do you see a day?
We're seeing anywhere from 10 to 20 kids regularly, and then some days maybe a few more or a few less. But if we don't give out the lunches during the time frame that we are, that we publicized to give out, we kind of keep a hold of them and get them out during the rest of the day to the kids. So. If those kids aren't right there at that time, they're still getting fed. It's just a matter of when they get there. We're trying to try and keep after them to get there at a certain time. But it's tough.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, it seems to me that this would help kids on more than just a food level, because you're bringing together a group of kids. Sometimes these kids will come every day.
Oh, yeah.
So it's creating a community for them, giving them something to do as well. And I'm thinking they'll probably stay and hang out at the HYCC a little bit as well.
Yeah, out of those 10 to 20 kids, I mean, they're staying there the majority of the day. Those kids are staying there. They get their lunch, they get their snack, they're playing some sort of organized activity during the afternoon. They usually don't go home till 5 or 6 at night. We have a lot. We do a little thing where we put a free note, not a free note, a free book note in the lunch bags. So some kids, while they're eating lunch, they get the note, and then they can go up and get a book. So it's helped, like, just the kids are sitting there, we're reading to the kids. It's a pretty cool atmosphere.
Yeah, must be really neat to see that for you. I mean, to watch that happen and see these kids have that opportunity to have lunch and not have to stress about it.
Yeah, and I think, having them there's a few rules as far as them having to wash their hands, sit in a certain area, and I think just that kind of 45 minutes of downtime, eating something, talking to myself or some of the other staff, kind of gives them a sense of home, which I think is needed, especially they're not at home, but you're kind of making them feel at home.
Now, how do you get the word out about the program? I mean, are kids telling each other about the program? How do we reach kids and let them know that it's happening?
Oh, we put out some signage. We also have some signage out on our billboard out front. And we've also emailed a lot of kids and organizations and just trying to get the word out. I think the weather lately, the hit or miss, has kind of helped and not helped any given day, but the kids who are there, they're getting out, they're going back out and telling other kids, hey, come on over. So we've seen a steady incline, and we hope to stay around this 20 to 25, maybe even some more if we can get them.
Now, are there any requirements? So is anyone welcome to join the lunch? Or do they need to fill out paperwork or prove an income or anything like that?
They just have to be between the ages of 1 and 18. So as long as they're between 1 and 18, they come down and get a lunch. Unfortunately, we can't feed the parent, but it's okay. We don't see many of the parents. We see the kids. So the meals are getting to the people that it needs to get to.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So glad to hear that. How long did it take you guys to organize this and make everything happen before the summertime?
We got involved with the program in May, and then we kicked it off the end of June. So the idea was there. Patty Machado had met with a couple people. She got me involved, and then we just made the commitment to be there every day. We did some training as far as serving the food and understanding the meal has to be broken down a certain way with a milk, a fruit and vegetable, grain. So it was just a little tedious trying to figure it all out, but we did some training, myself, a few other staff members, and it's worked out well so far.
Is this something you think you want to continue to do in future summers?
I think definitely the summers we'll continue the lunches. I think year round after school we're going to continue a snack program, and hopefully we'll implement maybe a once or twice a month dinner type activity for the kids.
Wow.
And that'll come once the school year gets underway and we can get 2 more kids. And the organization where that is running it with us is very involved and wants to be more involved and wants to kind of get more food out there. So I think it'll be a win-win for all.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us today, telling us all about the Food for Kids program. We
Thanks
really
for having
appreciate it, and good work bringing that here to the town of Barnstable.
All right,
we
thank you.
appreciate it.
All right.
Our guest today, Youth Center Manager Mark Bordley. Joining me now live over the phone, we have shellfish technician Liz Lewis. Liz, some classes are coming up that many adults and kids will want to take advantage of. You're going to help teach people how to go clamming.
Yes, we are.
What can you tell me about the clamming classes?
Well, so we've done clamming classes in the past, and they're usually geared towards kids. But this time we really wanted to extend it out to everyone. So it's for all the folks that want to come, adults, kids, anyone really. We've had a lot of interest from folks coming in. You know, they're purchasing a license, but they're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Or some people that before they get the license, they want to see if they like it or see how hard it is. So we're going to be teaching some folks, anyone that wants to come down. We have 3 classes at Bridge Street Landing, just like how we do the kids class. And we'll teach them how to quahog and how to get steamers. So it's a really great opportunity. I'm pretty psyched about it because anyone can come. You know, if you've been shellfishing before but you want some more tips, or you're finding it hard to get them out of the ground or know which areas to go to, it's a really great opportunity. We have tons of volunteers that come, so it's one-on-one. You'll get that hands-on experience with someone that's been shellfishing for a long time, most likely.
You know,
and they'll give you some good tips.
It's funny because sometimes it can be intimidating if you haven't done it before. I know last year was the first year I ever got a shellfishing permit, which was so worth it. I'm so glad I did. But it was a little intimidating before I went through the process. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had never really learned about it. So, you know, this is a great opportunity for people who may want to learn more, get maybe the inside scoop too. It's always good to have those tips like you were mentioning from people who are who've done it for so many years and who are very involved in shellfishing here in the town of Barnstable. They have some really good tips, some insider things that you may not pick up if you just head out by yourself.
Right, and I can totally see how it would be intimidating. We have a lot of regulations in town, but that's to help manage the species appropriately. And you know, you want to make sure you're going in the right area and everything, and you don't want to waste a bunch of time either. So I totally get it, and that's why this is such a great opportunity. You'll really get that experience, and even people that have been doing it for a long time. The biggest issue that I see is when we open an area like Scudder in November and you're out there fishing for wild quahogs, let's say we haven't planted anything, a lot of people come back with empty baskets or just 1 or 2. And it's not that they're not out there. It's just a technique error. You know, one of the big things that I learned when I first started was don't put in all that effort in just one spot. Really use that scratch rake. It's called a scratch rake for a reason. Use that rake and just go along, scratch along the top of the surface, and then when you feel something, then put that effort in digging, and you'll be so much more successful. So little tips like that, really good things to learn, especially for steamers. Steamers can be really tricky, and trying to make sure that we don't get a lot of breakage, we don't, you know, hurt the seed, so that's replantable. Things like that, you'll get some really good tips for.
Also, too, I might feel a little more comfortable if I hadn't gone shellfishing before to be with someone who has done it before and really can tell me what's appropriate, because I know there are rules and regulations as to the size that you can take, how many you can take. So it's just great to have someone that can be there and say, you know, help you to make sure you're not breaking any rules and you're following all the correct procedures.
Exactly. And you know what? Even if you don't get a chance to come to the class, we we are always here. We're available. You can give us a call. You can talk to the ladies up front when you go pick up your shellfish license. We're all here to help. You'll see us around at the landings, and we want to make sure that you feel educated enough to go out there and do the right thing, because we can't be everywhere at once. So it really helps if you know what you're doing and you're confident in it, and you can help spread that word to other folks that are shellfishing and might be new to it. So just passing around that knowledge is super important.
I want to ask you this, Liz. Do you need to sign up in advance for the class? Is there a cost to attend? And when are the classes being held?
So you don't have to sign up. Just show up at the landing. There's no cost. It's absolutely free. We will have rakes. We will have baskets and bags for you to take home your catch. You don't even need a shellfish license. So we have enough volunteers that donate their catches, so you actually get to take home what you eat.
Awesome.
And also, we'll have recipes. We'll have maps on where to go, so really good stuff like that. The first class is going to be Wednesday, July 26th at 8 a.m., then Sunday, August 13th at 10 a.m., Wednesday, August 16th at 12:30 p.m., all at Bridge Street Landing. You can find that information on our website. And also at the town landings, we have postings there.
Awesome. So excited about this, Liz. Thank you so much for telling us all about it. We really appreciate it. And, hopefully everyone will get out there and learn how to shellfish, because it is a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Have a great day, Liz.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Our guest today, shellfish technician Liz Lewis. Now let's find out what's happening around town in today's community calendar. Osterville Village Day is this Saturday. As part of Village Day, Osterville will host a parade, which steps off at 1 p.m. There will also be games, children's activities, a horse-drawn carriage, live music, and fun for everyone. The event runs from 10 to 4. You can hear great local musicians live during the Love Listen Local Singer-Songwriter Series. The series will be held at the High Arts Shanties in Bismore Park on Saturdays throughout the summer. Each week, a different musician will be featured. You can catch the Love Listen Local Singer-Songwriter Series Saturday evenings from 6:30 to 7:30. There are no board, committee, or commission meetings today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be back Monday with another great show for you. On Monday's show, we'll learn more about upcoming facilities projects for Barnstable Public Schools during our conversation with Director of Facilities Dave Kanyok. We'll hear from Yarmouth Deputy Police Chief Stephen Exaros about the upcoming Big Nicks Ride for the Fallen, and we'll find out what's happening at Cape Cod Community College with Communications Director Michael Gross. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.